Oh. Can you see the pictures? Okay. Welcome to our presentation about sustainable market. How can we teach sustainable development by working with Storyline, sustainable market? We come from Backatorpsskolan, which is located in the northern parts of Gothenburg. We have about, no. There's the right picture. We have about 340 pupils from preschool to 6th grade. Our school is trying to work with sustainable issues seriously. Since our school was founded 1993, we have been working with the nature which is surrounding our school in a natural way. Storyline is a recurrent working method at our school that all classes are working with at least once a year. We have a structure where we work with a special storyline in each grade. And we have chosen to work with sustainable market in 5th or 6th grade. About us. I'm Anna Johansson, and I am a primary school teacher up to grade 7. My main subject is Swedish and social subjects. I have known about Storyline since 2000, around there, but I worked regular with Storyline since 2012. I am also a CPS provider. And here is my colleague.
Yes, and my name is Karin Glänneskog, and I'm also a primary school teacher up to grade 7. I have been working with the Storyline since 2015 when I started working at Backatorpsskolan.
Hi, my name is Norén, and I'm a primary school teacher up to grade 6. I have been working with Storyline since I started at Backatorpsskolan at 2017. Sustainability. The concept sustainability has taken a greater and more important role in the Swedish curriculum and is now included in all subjects. Therefore, we try to put a special focus on questions regarding sustainable development at our school. That makes Storyline a very good tool and a good way of working, since it is an integrated way of work and it is a good way to develop questions regarding sustainability. So, what is sustainability? When we talk about sustainability, we focus on the 3 dimensions: social solidarity, environmental responsibility, and economic efficiency. Sustainable market. All Storylines are following a certain pattern, and so is this. It includes time, place, and environment, but each Storyline is its own, which means that they develop differently. The 3 of us have all been working with the sustainable marketplace in different classes and different years. And we will now give you examples from different sustainable marketplace we have been working with for the last few years. We have found that this certain Storyline is well suited because it makes the concept sustainability alive, and we can include and work with the 3 dimensions of sustainable development. The Storyline is basically about creating a sustainable marketplace with different market stands. We believe that it is easy to work with all 3 dimensions through different key questions. And questions we work with can be Can you please turn off the microphone? Questions we work with can be: what can we produce or sell? How do we transport them? How is your market stand sustainable? And how do we take care of each other and the environment?
Introduction. It's very important to have a clear start and ending in a storyline. And the introduction should put the children into a context to get them involved, start processing their thoughts. And we try to do that in an interesting way, captivating way. And we have tried different ways. We'll give you 3 examples of what we have tried. We have been giving them a letter from the community with a mission to build a sustainable market stand. We have also had visitors, the man in the picture. He came from the municipality and he started with a key question. And we have also made a video, a film. It was a journalist who was following the Glasgow COP20. And he heard about a city in Gothenburg, a district, Backa, it's very near our school. And they were transforming the residential area into a sustainable district. And the journalist was traveling there and interviewed people. And yeah, this is in Swedish, but you will see a short sequence from that film. Okay. This is the journalist, and she's in Backa, and she's interviewing the people and ask them what they think about this project. Some are positive and some are not. And in the end of the film, she meets the chairman of the board. And in the end of the film, she's looking in the camera and she is giving the children, she's asking them to build a sustainable market stand. So this is different ways to start a storyline, to catch their interest. And now, the place. Now it's time to build a sustainable market stand. We begin with making a list. Sorry. Maybe I can talk. Är det inte den? So, the place. Now it's time to build a sustainable market stand. We begin by making a list. We always make lists and put in the place in the classroom. A list of what kind of different market stands we can think of and how they will fit on this market. We also discuss in an early stage how they can be sustainable. And then with the 3 dimensions in mind. And when we build our market stands, the place becomes concrete. And it's easier for the children to create a fictive world where the story takes place. Every group write their business idea where they describe why their market stand should be in the marketplace and how it is sustainable. And one of the business idea, I think, look like this. This is the food philosophers, and their idea was to sell leftover foods from schools around Gothenburg. They had an electric car, so they could collect the food and then sell it in their market stand. And the buyers, they had to bring their own boxes, so packaging were not, they didn't need that. And they also had thoughts about how they would treat their staff in a good way. So all the dimensions were there.
Yes, and the characters. The characters have an important role in storyline. The more we worked with, especially this storyline, the more we understand the great importance with the characters. We can use them in many ways. And you as a teacher have the possibility to put the characters in different situations. For example, how do the character react on different events? You can make them take a stand and practice to arguing. You can let them react and act. You can let them feel things and talk about the feelings. You can let them come up with solutions of big problems or small problems. And these skills, which we believe is important for the pupils to train, because we think they need them for the future. And in this particular storyline, the characters become owners and buyers in the market. The characters becomes very important when we talk about sustainability in every dimension, but especially when we talk about the social perspective. With a character, it is easy to talk about questions like working environment, collaboration, is it right or wrong to do this and this? And we have noticed that it is easier to get into a role and talking about things instead of talking about your own ideas. And by using the characters, the children can empathize with the story and deepen their knowledge in the subjects areas that the teacher wants to integrate. Yes.
Events. There is always an event or a happening in a storyline that changes the outcome and puts the children in a dilemma. So in this short storyline, there is a Chinese company who sells cheap plastic toys, and the company applies to the marketplace for selling the products there. This event leads to a number of questions among the children. And the natural discussions could be about, is plastic toys a good thing to sell in a sustainable way of thinking? Is cheap always a good thing? And why are the products so cheap? What kind of transports are needed to ship these goods from China to here? And what will the consequences of shipping the goods here be? There could also be other kinds of events happening during the storyline that children needs to take a stand for and deal with. Events like a Christmas market. The owner of the different market stands is to host a special Christmas market where they need to cooperate and together come up with and organize events, etc. There could be a sabotage in some way, like a storm or vandalism at the marketplace.
The children are the owner of the story. During one storyline, the characters discovered that the different market stands had different opening hours. And they come to a conclusion that they wanted to have the same opening hours. But there were too many voices, too many wishes, and they couldn't come to an understanding. So they decided that they wanted one representative from each market stand, and they started to form a group. And in that group, they took decisions concerning the marketplace. This is just one example how the children, we didn't plan them to work exactly like this, but it happened and we followed it. And it's a good example of how the children own the story, but also a good example how you can concrete the work with the social dimension, with democracy and equality.
Entrepreneurial. This storyline is rather easy to develop and go forward with if you want to do it in reality. Last year we had an idea from the pupils about making environmentally friendly bags and sell them on a real market. Unfortunately, the coronavirus stopped us from making it happen, so we couldn't go through with it. But there are so many possibilities to work entrepreneurial with this storyline. And the children learn entrepreneurship, and the learning becomes part of their everyday life. For example, you can create a bazaar or a second-hand shop in real life. You can bake ecological bread, or you can make advertising in different ways. So I'm going to show you a short film from a group that started a company who sells cars that goes on electric. So that was an example of a very creative way to work.
Yes. And what have the pupils learned and trained? They had reflecting about the concept sustainable development in general. Together, they have learned different ways to live a sustainable life, and they have practicing to argue about sustainability in the world. And in the end of a storyline, we do an evaluation where we talk about what we have trained or what we have learned. And here is some voices from our pupils. And they answered the question, what do you know about sustainable development now? They answered how we should develop the world socially, economically, and for the environment so that it will be good and last longer. That is good for the environment, that it is important for us, that it is our future. And I will now show you a film where some pupils talk about their experience with the sustainable market storyline. It will come soon. Now, maybe, yes.
Best in storyline is when we building things and work in groups.
The best in the storyline was when we built and create our characters and be together.
Best in storyline, I think it was the film when we see our teachers that's doing some films about marketplaces. Here you can see what we have thinks about sustainable marketplace. Here is our own characters, and you see Niels on the picture. Here you can see characters in the story.
It's both owners and shopping, normal people that shop.
Here you can see a marketplace.
Here is a market that they sell
Stefan?
crabs and lobsters. We don't have the motorboats, we travel them with fish, and we don't use anything that's not good for the nature.
This is my marketplace. It's secondhand and it's only things that people come to us and they don't want more. So
Sorry, we hadn't time to watch the home clip, but we have to go on. So our conclusion is, this is a good way to work with sustainable development. It integrates many subjects, and it talks about difficult subjects in another role through your character. And of course, it's a fun and inspiring way to work. So now we're open for questions, I think.
I think I will stop share here. And first, a very warm thank you to Anders, Anna, and Karin. It was a very interesting presentation, and I know that more of you would like to have it longer. So there's so many things we would like to hear more about. But 20 minutes, it's 20 minutes. Let's see if we have any questions from the one at Zoom first. Is there anyone who wants to ask or comment on anything? No. I have a question though. I wonder, when you have, did you do the marketplace without the sustainability issues at first, or did you start with this sustainability focus?
We started with the sustainability focus. That was the first thing that they had to discuss. The questions like social development and environment development. So the three dimensions were clear from the start.
Because I know, and maybe one of you others have tried the marketplace before, and then it's not that focus. So that's such a good idea to take some well-tried storylines and take it to use it in another dimension. So that's a special good idea. And we have a question here from one of you in the Zoom. See if I can read it. How do you give them input theory about sustainability?
We take care of the knowledge that they already have. So we make lists. What do you think about the different subjects? And then we do it together, and we try to base it on the knowledge that they already have. And they always have.
They search for facts about the word sustainability. So we search on different pages for facts about it, so they know more.
And the same person just comments, and I must agree. How did you get the children to talk so fluently in English?
They're even better in English than we are.
Yeah.
Most of the pupils are really good at English, so that's not a problem really. So for some people there is a problem, and they can do it in Swedish, but for some pupils, and for the most of the pupils, they think that English is easy to talk.
Okay. Any more questions or comments?
Just congratulations, amazing job.
Well, as I said, I hope we could have more time to hear more about this storyline, but I once again thank you very much. And now it's time, in 5 minutes, it's time to see a small video clip, and I will show it here, but I have to try to get it working first. So I will just turn off my sound and video, but in 5 minutes the film will start, hopefully. And if I don't get it to work, then you can choose another room, because every room has got the link to the video. But thank you for now.
تسنشو كتلة. الشكر يشتمي مين